It's, yeah, it's, yeah, I don't even know what to say.
Just a reminder, homeowners associations evolved from racist segregationist practices. So don't buy a house with a homeowners association. But if you had to, or you already did, get yourself elected to the board on that homeowners association, get a couple of allies, and do everything you can to change it so that it is powerless and toothless forever. Have a good day.
You hail in liberal land, you are a liberal.
Well, I'm not liberal now. I'm a leftist.
You're a leftist.
I'm a leftist.
What's the difference?
I'm critical, yeah.
What's the difference in your liberal and
the difference is liberalism, refusal to engage in a critique of capitalism, refusal to engage in a critique of empire and imperial policies, and a refusal to engage in the milquetoast character of the Democratic Party. Liberals are in the Democratic Party. I have a critique of the milquetoast character of the Democratic Party.
Okay.
When you talk about the plantation of the Democratic Party, I'm with you wholeheartedly. I've talked about the Obama plantation. We can talk about the Clinton plantation and so forth. Now, I come right back and say, you know, there's a Trump plantation too. All of these politicians, all of these parties have their plantations.
Well, I'm
not a party person in that sense.
I don't tell people that you can go anywhere and hear me speak. There's nowhere where I tell people that they should abandon the Democrat Party and go to the Republican Party.
But you got a critique of the Democratic Party, Democratic leadership.
Oh, 100%.
The reason why I need folks with no critical thinking skills and no class consciousness to like never speak is because 10 years ago we were like, hey, the federal minimum wage is $7.25. We need at least $15 an hour to like live comfortably. And everybody and their mama was like, no, stop, halt, we can't do that. If we make every company pay their workers $15 an hour, that means that basic necessities will skyrocket in price. Now, mind you, we are sitting here 2023, okay? Federal minimum wage, still $7.25, and your eggs cost what? $6. Do you feel bonita? Was it worth it being on your knees, mouth agape, pants down for corporations? The fact that y'all were activists for corporations. Embarrassing. Now look at us. Struggling, starving, sad.
Oh, no, help! Shrek!
No, it's okay, it's okay.
What did you do with the princess?
Doggy, shh, I'm the princess. It's me, in this body.
Oh my God, you ate the prince!
Morning, Tyrell. Did you get engaged? I'm sure you're so relieved. You were probably worried you were getting too old, which you're not. I mean, you look so young. But now your life can really begin. I mean, don't all boys dream of this day? I always tell grooms, start your fitness regimen now. I can always tell when a boy hasn't worked out before his wedding. How many male brideswomen do you think you're gonna have? What's your new last name gonna be? I'm sure your father and your future father-in-law will help you so much with the planning. Boys love this stuff. I remember when my husband was planning our wedding, my dad was like obsessed with the seating chart. I was like, I don't know what that is. I'm a woman. I just show up and get tied down for life. I'm kidding. Do you think you're gonna cry when your mom gives you away? You belong to your wife now. Your mom is probably like, he's somebody else's problem now. Boys are so expensive. Are you gonna go on a honeymoon? I know my husband was planning his little outfits like a year in advance, and I was like, I don't care. Just make sure you pack my bag with all my swimsuits. When are you having kids? I'm sure you're dreaming of being a papa. I know you're not really supposed to say this, but this is why I don't like hiring boys. They always just get married and run off to be dads.
I got strangled by six. I got juked by six. I got evicted by six. I got played by six.
This is my first time wearing trans tape. Whoa, wait. Oh, what the fuck? There's a lot going on in my head right now because I still want my titties. I still want them some days. And other days, I don't want them to the point where I feel a level of dysphoria that like makes me really upset for the whole day. The day is ruined because, for example, these are some of the many articles of clothing I've thrifted that I either have not worn or haven't worn very often, even though I love them, because my chest doesn't make me feel good in them. So what we're gonna do is try them on for the first time with the trans tape and see if that changes how I feel. Oh my god, I'm so nervous. Starting with this open Harley Davidson number. Love her, haven't worn her yet. Let's see how we feel. Hold on. This is truly the first time I've ever experienced this, so I'm trying to process while I'm going through this, and I'm overwhelmed. I don't even know how to react. My thing is, like, a lot of these I would want to wear open, so that's why I wanted to get the trans tape that had the designs, but it's hard to find for some reason. Do y'all see? Shout out to my dad for letting me thrift this from his closet. He never wears it, and now it's mine. Dude, let's try a tank top. Random tank top, still has a tag. I got this a long time ago. I haven't worn it yet because I knew my chest was gonna not make me feel good in it. Well, I think the trans tape just solved all of my gender and identity issues. So that's fucking amazing. What the fuck? And here's my thing. I never tried trans tape before because it's called trans tape. So I was like, oh, trans tape is for trans people. And technically I'm genderqueer and fall under the trans umbrella. But I'm like, okay, I have no intention of removing my titties. Therefore, I can't use trans tape. That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't make sense. Obviously, I figured that out as I was going through my gender and sexuality journal on page 130 where it asks, do you feel connected to masculinity? How? And then the previous page, do you feel connected to femininity? How? I realized that my chest had always been connected to femininity through societal bullshit, right? So I'm clearly in this process still of like creating that separation between femininity and breasts, right? Because bodies don't equal one or the other, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'll talk more about this in another video, but this experience today, folks, we have figured it out. Wow. Yo.
Something unsurprisingly racist, the history of trespass laws in America. Before enslaved people freed themselves, the only trespass cases were in 1818 and 1820 of a South Carolina landowner suing hunters for being on his land. And the law actually sided with the hunters, saying people had the right to enter private land as long as it didn't cause harm. But after the Civil War, that sentiment changed. They didn't like black people's newfound freedom, so they developed creative ways to re-enslave them, like instating trespass statutes, restricting where they could go, walk, hunt, gather food, and enforcing these statutes in predominantly black areas. In Alabama, trespassing earned you 3 months of hard labor. In Florida, 39 lashes. Other states followed suit, and eventually every southern state passed some type of law restricting access to private land, even for hunting and fishing, which previously the law had no issue with. This even made it hard to spend time with family members who worked on a white person's land, because more often than not, they also lived on that white person's land. So if you went to visit, you could have been persecuted for trespassing. So black people were free, but they couldn't move around freely, couldn't hunt and forage for food freely, couldn't even visit their family and friends freely. And so they found themselves once again tied to white landowners for food, shelter, and employment, and back in a position of enslavement.
The average conservative is honestly a deeply, deeply unhappy human being. And the reason why, I think, is because modern day conservatism literally just weaponizes fear and fear responses in order to brainwash people into doing the bidding of the bourgeoisie. We are living in end stage capitalism where companies like BlackRock and Vanguard are going in and buying in cash all the available single-family homes, driving up rent prices. The average rent in this country has gone up 200% in the last 7 years. Last 7 years. The cost of living has nearly doubled. Meanwhile, we haven't seen a raise of the federal minimum wage since the early 90s. We literally are starving. We can't afford milk. We can't afford eggs. We can't afford our rent. We can't afford our prescriptions. We can't afford insulin. We can't afford healthcare. We can't afford our education. But they have us fighting this culture war over things like masks during COVID. But once COVID went away, oh, okay, now we're hyper-focusing on trans children, on trans people, a group of the population that makes up 0.8% of the population. They have us bickering over that while they steal our homes out from underneath us and they double the price of fucking food. I need Americans to be so fucking for real right now. So fucking for real right now. I need conservatives to be so fucking for real right now. When was the last time you literally actually even interacted with a trans person? You claim that you're upset because you're worried about the welfare of children. What about the fact that your children will never be able to buy a home, will never be able to live in a fucking functional, healthy environment? The fact that your children will not be able to afford to go to school. The fact that your children will literally be living in a system where everything that we need to survive doubles in price every 2 years, but our means of income stay the same. We are heading so quickly into a greased chute of poverty for the working class, and y'all are fucking mad about trans kids. Be so fucking for real right now. I literally don't even know how to talk to these people because they don't understand that their anger, their fear, they are so terrified, and that fear is being weaponized in order to serve the fucking will of the bourgeoisie. Elon Musk, fucking Jeffrey Bezos, all of the richest people on this planet who don't give a fuck if you live or die. And our congressional elective officials are literally just bidding this fucking war out for them. I am so sick of this country. It is so fucking embarrassing, the lack of basic comprehension, the lack of reality checks. People literally think that conservatives care about girls kissing girls? About boys that were born as girls? No, they don't give a fuck. They're just triggering your fear response so that you give a fuck, so that you and I can't band together and fucking make insulin affordable. Make fucking a gallon of milk affordable. Keep our fucking homes affordable. Please, be so fucking for real.
You know, I've never tried century eggs before, so let's go try it and see if they're telling the truth or if they're going out of their way to be racist. Yep, we're doing it. We're doing the century eggs, also known as padan, and we're gonna see if all those gross reactions were really necessary. All right, now real quick, I have a really strong sense of smell, so strong that it's actually my astrological birth chart. Here we go. They're individually wrapped. It literally doesn't smell. I am doing this. It is right up against my nose, and I can barely smell anything. Yeah, that reaction? Mark? Yeah, that's fake. So here we go. Look at that. All right, the shell's a little bit harder than your typical chicken eggs, but once you get that film, it just seems to come right off. Dang, look at that. That thing is cool looking. All right, so let's get all the shells off. And again, I am not smelling anything yet. It just smells like an egg. What the fuck? All right, so before we eat it the way that you're supposed to eat it, I'm just gonna slice this up and try it on its own first because, you know, that's how everyone else keeps eating it. That's what it looks like on the inside. Still smells like an egg. This is what they look like right now. Side note, I love eggs. Here we go. That's delicious, oh my God. And it tastes just like an egg with like a more umami flavor. Wow, that's actually delicious. All right, but this is how you're supposed to eat it. So I got half a square of some cold tofu. We're just gonna try to arrange this. I think I cut them a little bit too thinly. I really apologize. My plating job is not the greatest. We're gonna take the sauce. We're just gonna drizzle it on everything. Now let's give it a try. Let's try a piece of it with the tofu. Cheers. Whoa. Oh my God, that's delicious. Oh my God, that's so good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, so the century egg on its own, I'm gonna give it like a 9.6 out of 10. On the tofu with this sauce, the century egg straight up is like a 9.89 out of 10. This is fire. Hey Ron, wanna try this? You have to try it on camera though. You have to sit down maybe. That's really good, right?
That's really good.
You want to try one on its own? Just tastes like an egg, right? But like more umami or something. 엄마 이거 먹어봐. Doesn't matter. My mom's also visiting from Korea for the month for my birthday. She's gonna try it too. She's never had it. Okay, I guess I'm feeding her. 맛있지? Yeah. See? Like a 9 out of 10? Yeah. Delicious. Go try it right now. You know, I want to say that I can't believe just how far they went out of their way to pretend like century eggs are gross, but I guess racists are gonna racist.